From the top rope to your collection, this is collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I'm your host, Smooth 3PO. This is my tag team partner coming through with another loaded episode. But before we get into all that, Bro Pio, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy WrestleMania week. We are finally here. We've made it to the granddaddy of them all. So, on that, man, I've been good. How you doing?
I am doing well, officially on vacation mode. If you guys have yet to be listening or following the content, you would know that I'm heading to my first ever WrestleMania week. I will be heading out officially on Thursday. Hopefully, you guys are listening to this episode on Wednesday morning. I will be officially out on Thursday, attending World on Friday, possibly attending some other wrestling events that same day. I'll be at night one. Fortunately, due to some schedule conflicts, will not be at night two, and also money conflicts. I will not be at night two. So I will be flying. So I will be missing night two. But there's going to be a ton of content coming your way this whole week. So make sure you are following the socials. Make sure you follow BroPio at Dad Who Collects. Links are going to be down below. You can follow me at Moon3PO. Links down below. And make sure you are subscribing and following to the podcast. That does help support the podcast so much. But you guys have been showing a lot of support. So I really, really do appreciate all that here. Along with being WrestleMania week, obviously this is one of Topps' biggest week when it comes to wrestling. So we have a lot of Topps news coming out. It was officially announced that Topps logo fractor will officially be held at WrestleMania, at WWE World, which again I will be at. So again, we're going to cover a little bit what we know about the set so far. We do have a dedicated WrestleMania 42 set that is coming out. We're going to cover all that here. And of course, again, unless you've been living under a rock, you guys would know last week was the official release of Topps Chrome WWE, which we've been joining a lot of breaks. We got our hands on a couple of products here. Hopefully, moving forward, we get our hands on more products. So we're just going to talk about all that, kind of talk about our early impressions, the looks of the cards, the style of the cards, what have we been seeing, what have we been chasing, things like that. Of course, we're just going to basically just cover everything here when it comes to overall Topps Chrome, which we did a lot of last week, which again, you guys absolutely killed that episode, which I really, really do appreciate it here. But like Bro Pro mentioned, we're here. We're finally here. It's WrestleMania 42 week. It's been definitely an up and down roller coaster for sure. We haven't really been able to say that for the last couple of years, but this one has definitely felt the ups and downs. Even though this card to me, this card is stacked. The storytelling, we could definitely, obviously, we're going to talk about all the storytelling in between all these matches here. Even though this build has yet to hit expectations for us, I still feel like nothing beats WrestleMania week and WrestleMania weekend. I don't know how you personally feel about it. I think it's just overall, if you're a general wrestling fan, hate WWE or not for whatever reason, and those reasons are probably valid at this point, it's hard to deny the excitement that this overall WrestleMania brings to the overall wrestling hobby and wrestling space.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I feel like even when it's like when you WrestleMania, well, it's basically like when you get to the week of, you're just like, oh, all right, cool, like WrestleMania this weekend and stuff like that. This one has felt a little weird because I feel like there's been a lot of like outside like chatter that has to do with WrestleMania, but it doesn't really like tie into the product. I mean, and so much going back and forth with like these promos that happened 2-3 weeks ago with the whole McAfee thing, and then you just have the whole thing of like the ticket pricing stuff being super expensive, pretty much just price gouging us for every little thing. So there have been little hiccups on this road to WrestleMania, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the card is pretty much stacked. I mean, to the point where, probably get into, but like Evil was left off the card and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch it, and I know you're excited because obviously you're going to be there in the house, so it's going to be a whole different experience. But yeah, man, I mean, we're here, and regardless of how you felt about each and every, I mean, each of these matches have their own story going into it. Regardless of how you feel about it, I think the matches are going to deliver, and obviously we're going to get into it a little bit more. Some matches probably won't get too much detailed in, just because probably the other ones are being a little bit more lengthier, but I think we'll kind of just we'll go on the fly. So
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Again, yeah, again, each match here on this card definitely has their interesting story and their complexities that came with the build itself. It wasn't perfect by all means. Don't think anything's ever really been perfect. Maybe you can make the case for the Reigns and Punk, and obviously other years you could definitely make the case like that's been a perfect build. This one here has been nowhere close to being perfect, but I think overall, again, very excited for both nights here. Yeah, I think overall it's going to be a good time for at home viewers, and of course if you're in person as well. But let's head into night one. Let's start off with night one here. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense to jump into night two. So let's talk about night one here. Of course, these matches were officially confirmed as of last week. Again, we're recording this episode on Monday night. Some things may change. I know sometimes SmackDown, they like to do some things like I know the Wide Six and the MFTs have a match. I'm pretty sure maybe Tiffany and Julia will have a match for the US title. I know they also have the Andre Giant Battle Royal as well.
Classic.
So we're not really going to cover those. We'll probably, in between maybe talk about it if it comes up naturally, but those matches are not officially on the card. You can definitely make the case, could have been on the card itself, but those have been saved off for Friday night SmackDown. But night one here was confirmed on Monday Night Raw that the Vision was going to be the team of Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISO Speed taking on the Usos, that being Jay and Jimmy Uso with LA Knight. Again, you can have your say, what you feel about celebrities, and obviously we'll talk about the celebrities obviously on this card itself. I personally am a fan of ISO Speed. I don't watch like his streams or anything like that, but the few stuff that he's brought on to the WWE screen has been entertaining, which I think is what these match obviously like we're going to talk about later here. But yeah, I've generally has enjoyed his little bit of involvement here. He also seems like a guy who kind of just like enjoys the wrestling business and enjoys being in there. He's obviously very athletic as well, so it's kind of hard to deny that here. I know Raw again showed a little bit of a promo of him, like a video packages. I know Randy Orton has a video of him up on his YouTube, so very sure that he is athletic, is putting in the work. Can't say the same for Travis Scott last year. But yeah, overall, from a pure entertainment standpoint, I'm very entertained by the match. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some crazy ISO speed spot. What that spot's gonna be, I don't know. But I personally am excited, especially when you have the athleticism of Logan Paul, Austin Theory. Obviously you got the Usos as well and LA Knight. There's a lot of talent involved here in this match here, but I would find it very hard if the Vision ends up coming out with this victory here. I would choose the Usos and LA Knight. Kind of get their comeback pin. Maybe that's pinning Logan, ISO Speed, whoever. Maybe that finally gets him back on track. He's had a little bit of a rough first half of 2026. So maybe this is a part where it gets him on track. But yeah, overall, I'm excited for it. I'm entertained by the whole thing here, but I do got the Usos with LA Knight taking this one.
Yeah, me too. To me, I think this is like classic, like WWE. Get the night started with some good old yeeted in the faces going over. Also considering too, like for the first time, like this first hour, and I think the first two matches are live on ESPN too. So like if you're just like a random person, just like randomly scrolling through TV, and you come across ESPN two, like, these two matches are going to be streamed for free. So I think that's like their way of thinking, like, hey, if we can catch like these non-WWE watchers or like that, and they're like, oh, what the heck is this and what's going on here? Like, I think it's just classic the faces over and the opening match. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm going with the Usos and good old LA Knight.
Yeah, I forgot the first hour is being live on ESPN. So if you're
I think it's the first two matches for both nights. Yeah,
first two matches, right? So I totally forgot about that.
yeah,
So obviously, if you're a kid or maybe an early teenager seeing ISO Speed on your television, like what the hell is he doing? And maybe that's the whole idea there. But yeah, LA Knight here with the Usos taking this one here. Second match here, we got Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. Now, again, I know as we were getting, talking about the card before we got into our predictions here, we're talking about builds to matches and stories maybe not being there. This one here has had a very interesting story. Obviously, this story can extend back many months ago. They finally mentioned on this past Friday Night SmackDown of who attacked Jacob Fatu. Like, we never really figured that out. Yeah, like, was it Drew McIntyre? So kind of, maybe hinting it was him. We never really got that closure yet. So definitely opens the door for that. obviously in their backstage promos, Drew McIntyre, referencing, Jacob Fatu's family ties, his past history. Obviously, if you guys know, if you're familiar with Jacob Fatu's story, being in prison, being in trouble, things of that nature. So hasn't really had the most bright upbringing, but finally coming to WWE, being involved in the Bloodline storylines, being a very vocal point in that. And then obviously the beatdown that we saw this past Friday as well. Before I was kind of I feel like we've kind of seen this story before, but I feel like that last segment that they did where him being handcuffed and him beating the crap out of him kind of really sold me on this match. So I'm really, really excited for this one here. This one here, though, I do, even with all the beatdowns that we've seen and all the troublesome that we've heard and seen, I do got Jacob Fatu taking this one as well. I don't think, he's in a very interesting spot as far as like where he can go from here. But I think there's anyone who's going to benefit from a win is definitely Jacob Fatu. Not saying Drew McIntyre wouldn't benefit from it. Obviously, we've obviously seen what's gone on within the last 2 months, dropping the WWE title back to Cody Rhodes so they could do this god awful feud. But I feel like it's in a position where these guys are just going to put on a banger match here, unsanctioned match, no DQ, no rules. I'm pretty sure it's going to be against some crazy, maybe crowd spots, some stage spots, who knows. But this one here, I do got Jacob Fatu taking this one.
Yeah, I think this was gonna be pretty good. Again, too, I think this is also a good way for like a non-traditional WWE fan to just cross. You get the first free hour on ESPN too. Damn, it's not like I'm promoting the damn thing, right? Keep on mentioning ESPN too. But
like the old $9.99 WWE Network.
Yeah. Catch it on ESPN too. No, I think Jacob Fatu is gonna take this as well. I think in a sense of like beat down wise, like I think Drew's finally like met his match where like somebody's willing to go as far as he would to like hurt somebody and beat up somebody and stuff like that. And I think Jacob has more to get out of a victory than he would have lost. I think I brought this up a couple of times too, where I think like Drew, like he's one of those guys who can win and lose, and he just feel like it doesn't really hurt his character unless it was for like the WWE title against Cody. Then his losses just hurt him. But I think a loss for him in this case, like I don't think would hurt him in a sense. Whereas if Jacob were to lose, I think that kind of might put him like, all right, where does he fit in this kind of stuff? So I think just for that, I think Jacob's going to take the dub on this one.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully this propels him to a main title picture, depending on who is walking out. Maybe this does set up if, he does win. Maybe this sets up that Cody was the one if he is victorious at the end of the night. Maybe that sets up their feud. Obviously, Randy being a heel, quote unquote, and Jacob being a face. Maybe that sets up that in the future, get some fresh matchups. So, overall, really excited for it. I didn't know it was an unsanctioned match until last week. So I'm really, really excited for that one here. So, going to be very excited to see that one there in person. Next one here, we have the Women's World Championship match here. We got Stephanie McCurry and Liv Morgan. Now, this one here, I think, again, the storyline build hasn't been there, calling your mom a bitch, going back and forth. But I think what sold me on this one is just the physicality that we've seen between both of them.
Yeah.
Like those shots have been ruthless. Obviously, we talked about it last week, the headbutt shot, the brawl that we saw this week, and kind of even going before that, like when Liv declared that she was picking Stephanie, the microphone shot, just it's little subtle stuff that I just picked up, having like she's wearing like long heels or like, pointy shoes, and she's kind of just stepping on her, and you can tell like Steph just like pushed her away. So it's been stuff like that that's kind of been eye-opening, where it sold me on the point that I believe these two women absolutely hate each other. I'm pretty sure that's the exact opposite backstage. I don't get those indications of that. I just think they're two women who are like, all right, we really don't have a storyline here. We'll just go beat the crap out of each other and sell it like that. And it's obviously sold me on it, because I was even putting out a tweet after today's brawl is that I wish this was the main event. I hope it's the main event. Not too sure if it's been announced yet as far as what's main event.
I think they confirmed that it's Cody and
Cody and Randy. Oh Christ!
Yeah, I think Corey Graves said it. Corey Graves, I think, said it on commentary that they were editing it.
Damn it! Unless something fucking crazy happens at the end, who the hell knows? But obviously, we'll get there when we get there. Don't know about that Liv Morgan music video though. That was kind of
man, that's a banger. It's a banger song, dude. It's a banger.
I don't know how to feel about it yet. I have to listen to it again.
I had to like I saw it dropped, and then like I saw people like were like talking bad about it, saying that it was bad and like it was like so auto-tuned, and so I was like, when they aired it on Raw, I was like, all right, I'm prepared for the worst. I'm like, it's not that bad. It actually kind of bangs. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like her new theme song, honestly. Because it starts off like her theme song. And
Yeah.
so, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not the worst thing. I just don't know like what was the logic behind it. I guess is kind of where again you can make the case for every storyline that's involving. Like where was the logic? Like all right, like what writer sat down in that room? Like you know what, Liv? What's really gonna get us going for this is we're gonna make a shoot a video. We're just called Trouble. You're gonna sing in an autotune. Raquel's gonna be in there. It's gonna be like a. It reminded me of like a what's that band? Fuck, they sing that song. Is it Pussycat Dolls? I think it's what it kind of reminded me of. I don't know why, but it
Yeah,
kind of gave me that.
it gave off some like early like 2000s, 2004, 2005 Christina Aguilera vibes. I don't know if you know what that is, but yeah.
Heard of the name, can't name you a song.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my
I said I made this comment to the wifey and she totally understood the reference. So
no, you lost me there.
Yeah.
I've heard the name, but can't tell you one song that Christina Aguilera sings.
Genie in a Bottle. I think that's her. Genie in a Bottle. Ever heard that song?
Genie in a Bottle. Genie in a Bottle.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. Probably if you played it, I probably know it. Obviously, don't want to play it. I don't want to get demonetized, but I'm pretty sure if it got played, I would probably maybe when we're off pod, I'll play Genie in a Bottle. Like, all right, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna put a little thing over here. Confirm Mood 3PO does know who Christina Aguilera is, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But I'll throw this one to you, Bropio. Who you got winning this one? I think this one here is a very interesting. WrestleMania buyback, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this match is WrestleMania buyback. So if you have any of their base and or parallels, which we'll talk about a little bit more deeper in the episode, those will be eligible for in-store credits. So keep an eye on that, especially if you've been ripping or buying to breaks specifically for these two superstars. But who you got here, Bropio? Stephanie Vicker or Liv Morgan?
Yeah, I think when I look at everybody's like predictions online and through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it looks like seems to be like Liv is the heavy favorite. I think people are 95% Liv. I'm gonna pick Stephanie Vicker in this one. Just because people are saying they need to put the title back on Liv and she's earned it and blah blah blah. But at the same time, like, well, Stephanie hasn't really been given like a real true feud with the belt, and that is not her fault. I mean, even if they did wanted to run this match back earlier, maybe Liv got hurt, and they couldn't do it. And so she got stuck in that god-awful feud with Nikki Bella and then feuded with Raquel. I think she defended the belt against Raquel like 3 times maybe. And then she had that one match with Tiffany Stratton back at Crown Jewel. So she really never had like a real definitive feud for the belt, in my opinion. So I think the first time she's actually really getting to feud with somebody of Liv's stature, and to kick it off at WrestleMania, like I feel like it'd be weird to just take the belt off her in a sense like that. So I think they should just continue with Stephanie, and they can really honestly build more on this feud if they want to take it to Backlash and so forth. But yeah, I'm gonna be different, and not also because I have 2 Stephanie Vicker base cards sitting on my desk as we speak, but I'm rolling with Stephanie Vicker on this one.
Yeah, and you bring up some great points there. Not too sure if I missed it here, but I think a very interesting point in this one here as well is the involvement of Roxanne Perez. I know they briefly mentioned it before she got headbutted last week about that Finn Balor was the one that brought her in, not necessarily like it wasn't Dom, it wasn't Raquel. Obviously, yes, Raquel and Roxy teamed after Liv was gone. They even took over the tag team titles, which Liv has gone on record saying like I didn't lose that, you guys did, or Roxy did. So kind of playing it a little interesting point on that. Don't know again if there's going to be a true involvement, but that is something to definitely keep an eye on here. But I am in the same boat as you. I think Stephanie Vicker is going to be the one to walk out victorious on this one. Just due to the fact as well, like again, if this is your main card and your main showcasing talent, you obviously want an average viewer, not saying an average viewer may not know who Liv Morgan is or not, diminishing anything that Liv Morgan has done for the business, but especially for the women's division as well. But like, if you really want to propel, your next star, your next, your women's champion, your next women's champ who you're taking to the moon, like your next Rhea Ripley-esque, I don't think you're going to have her lose her first WrestleMania match. You can make the argument, well, Rhea lost her first WrestleMania match, which is true. She lost against Charlotte for the NXT title, but I just don't see that with Stephanie.
That was a different Rhea
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
That's not the
different
Rhea.
Rhea, different Rhea, different time. So I know people can kind of make that argument. I think I've been seeing that chatter kind of been thrown around a little bit as far as that, but in this case here, I don't see that being propelled with Stephanie McCurry. And you again bring up some great points. This is her true main feud. Was stuck in that god awful Nikki Bella feud. She dealt with that injury, so who knows how legitimate that was. Beating Raquel a couple times as well doesn't really do too much. But I think if you really want to propel as far as who's your next superstar, it is going to be Stephanie McCurry. And I think it's going to be very hard to have her drop this title if that's what your end goal is for Stephanie. And if she was to lose, obviously she is still very young. She could definitely bounce back from it if they were to pivot. But I personally don't see that happening. I personally don't have any Stephanie McCurry cards. Hopefully that does change. I do need to go pick some up. So I do need to get some Stephanie McCurry for my WrestleMania buyback here. But let's keep it with the women here. We got AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the IC title. Little weird. There's no in-person segment on this one here. They obviously had the video package. I don't know if there's a scheduling thing or whatever the heck is going on. This one here has been, how long has it been? Like 6 to 8 months at this point now. It's been a long time.
AJ came back, to September?
September, right? So how long? What's the math on that?
That's I think it's like 7 months.
Yeah, it's like 6-7 months storytelling here. Obviously, the story being that AJ has had Becky Lynch's number, and obviously the video package they showed today highlighted that. Obviously, when she made her debut, making her tap at WrestlePalooza, making her tap at War Games, beating her at Elimination Chamber. So obviously, kind of playing to that, like I've had your number type esque here. So this one here very interesting because do you stay with AJ Lee as your IC champ? Do you keep open here? Does she hold it on? Obviously, she hasn't really been on TV that much. So what's the goal with that? Do you give it back to Becky? Or is this where, Becky doesn't come out victorious and then propels her to maybe get back to the main title picture? If Stephanie was victorious, obviously you got to have a good girl and a bad girl face off each other, heel in the face. So maybe that propels to that, which is where I'm going here. So this one here, I do have AJ Lee retaining just due to the point here. I think Becky is built to the point where she can go off and do better things. Not saying this hasn't done anything for her. Obviously, she's been a main component of building the IC women's title and bringing it to what it is now. But I just feel like Becky can kind of go off and do some bigger things. Maybe she takes some time off. Who knows? And then AJ, kind of can open up, whatever, obviously, do we have some NXT calls potentially? I mean, maybe this opens the door for JC Jane. Maybe this opens up the door for Roxy if they keep her heel if there's no involvement. Maybe this opens the door for Raquel, Asuka, Kari, if they're on their heel side. So I think there's a lot of more options for AJ Lee if she was to keep the title. Because again, if you give it back to Becky, what do you do? Do you run back AJ Lee again? Do you go back to Lyra? Do you go back to Bayley? You're not going to go back to Rhea. Obviously, she's on SmackDown. Well, obviously, we'll talk about that, in about 20 to 30 minutes from now. But yeah, that's my thought process here as far as that. So this one here, I do got AJ Lee retaining the women's IC title, and I hope so for the sake of my wife. My wife absolutely loved AJ Lee, so if she loses the Becky Lynch, my wife will probably lose her shit. We'll probably go home after that.
Yeah. This one's tough too because I all the points you brought up, I thought about the same thing. Like if AJ wins, she can run back like last month when she was like, oh, there's so many people that I want to face for this title. Like there's Roxanne Perez. She mentioned like Lyra. She wrestled Bayley, and she'd mentioned I think Alexa, Charlotte, stuff like that. I just don't see it. I don't see this feud ending without Becky Lynch at least getting like some kind of victory on. It would just be so weird to go 7 months and Becky tapped 3 times to her in a way. I think.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So I find that very hard. And I'm thinking, if Becky does come out with the IC title, and like where does she go from here? And that's kind of like where I'm with you. Like where does she run it back with? I do think honestly, there's probably going to be a draft to reshuffle the rosters. I think that's probably needed in some sense. So could you like bring over Alexa, Charlotte over back to Raw? Can you go that? It's a perfect time for a call up. So I don't know, maybe Becky do like an open challenge one night, and so Ruka answers the challenge, like something like that. I really don't know. But yeah, this one I'm gonna go with Becky. I'm gonna go with Becky regaining the IC title, becoming a 3-time Intercontinental champion, and yeah, it's just I find it really hard for her to get a dub. I don't know if it's like an old school wrestling mentality where it's like you got to get at least one dub, or you if you get tied, you have to have that third match kind of sense. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Becky Lynch on this one.
See, I thought about that, but then the thought that maybe that I had, maybe it'll influence your decision a little bit, is the Rhea and Io. Like Rhea has never beaten Io, so and they faced off a couple of times already. So I was like,
That's true.
like they could definitely play into that a little bit. Obviously, not saying
Although
that it's never gonna.
the only thing about that one's been scattered for years. Like that goes back to
Yeah,
like Io Shirai, like down in
yeah,
NXT, kind of a sense. Because yeah, I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying about that. I just think this one's a little bit more. Only
yeah,
reason why I think it's different just because it's been like consistently. I
yeah.
mean, I know we had that large gap and stuff like that, but um, yeah, that's a good point though. Good point.
Yeah, so that was my
Valid
thought
point.
process there. I was like, okay, has there been a women's feud recently where there hasn't been like where it's been very lopsided? Because that's obviously been the story, right? AJ having her number, like she said in the promo that she just brings something in her that, brings out her better self or her crazy side, I guess you would say. So that was the thought process there. And I think probably my wife kind of maybe influenced the decision a little bit. So yeah. So finally here we're different here on a match here. So we'll see what happens here moving forward. I think they'll still be
I will say though too. I think when we did our what did they last fight? Was it Chamber? Was it
Chamber.
Chicago?
Yeah, we begged Becky
Did
for that one.
I did have Becky on this one, and I did have it like if it was gonna go to WrestleMania, which eventually it did, I was gonna have AJ over at WrestleMania. But the fact that they done this little swapperoo is, I gotta go Becky on this one. So
Yeah,
hopefully
I was
Bex
in this.
doesn't
Yeah, we're
screw
in the
me
same
over on
boat,
this
and
one.
Babyface Break was the only one who was educated enough, and
Yeah.
only the one that knew ball at that time, and picked AJ Lee to win in the hometown of Chicago. So yeah, so overall, I'm very excited for the match. It's going to be very very exciting to watch. Next one up here, we'll keep it with the women. We got the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match here. We got the Irresistible Forces, that being Nia Jax and Last Legend, those being your champions. We got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And then we have the Bella Twins, which the Bella Twins right now, I will put an asterisk next to it. Because last time I heard, it's coming like a super close call with Nikki Bella's ankle injury. Don't know how serious it is, but supposedly it's like too close to call at this point. That's why, if you you put out a good post today over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call that, seeing Bayley and the team of Bayley and Lyra and Charlotte and Alexa, like you would think those two are the ones fighting for the titles, but there is another tag team involved, and you do have your champions involved as well. Which if you've been watching, it doesn't really even feel like that. This one here, do you keep the titles on Lash and Nia? I personally don't think so. This one here, I do think I'm gonna go with your PC here. I do think Lyra Valkyria and Bayley do come out victorious on this one. Finally becoming women's tag team champions. This has been eluding them since last year. So I think it's kind of poetic.
Yeah.
As far as of that, Bayley was involved, was supposed to be Lyra's tag team partner last year. Obviously got taken out by Becky Lynch. Obviously you guys, know all about that. So I think it'll be very poetic, very full circle moment for them to come out victorious on this one. Obviously, I don't see the Bella Twins having this title reign, especially if Nikki Bella's hurt. Don't think you want to do that. Alexa and Charlotte, I think they're due for their split already. I think they're kind of, I've loved the pairing. I wasn't a fan of it at the beginning, but I've absolutely loved how it's blossomed to what it is now. I do think it's time for them to split up and kind of go off on their own thing, like you mentioned. If there's a draft, go off.
Say, how you can split them up with the draft.
So there you go. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to watch that. Not saying Nia and Lash haven't been bad champions, but obviously them being heels, it's easy to kind of run that back, kind of have that, going back and forth for the titles there. But yeah, this one here, Dugout Bayley and Lady Bird Lyra Valkyria becoming your new women's tag team champions.
Yeah, this one no thought. It's Bayley and Lara in a non-biased choice. just like you said, I think they've been specifically even like pro they've been doing for like what half this year already, where they always like kind of like scrappy for a tag team title match. They never get it, and then when they do, they kind of like either fall short of it. So I think to like finally do it on the biggest stage where they were supposed to probably do it last year. Would just be poetic and just full circle for them. And I think everybody's starting to see like the I always said Bailey's like the most like underrated out of the 4 horsewomen when when it came to
Agree.
Mercedes, Becky, and Charlotte. Like if she was always the one that never really got the most love out of those 4. So I think you kind of see it now, like on the internet, where she's starting to get a little bit more of her flowers. And even when the way you hear like Lyra, I don't know if you saw that interview she did. Lyra talked about her where she said like Bailey basically always gives and never like asks for anything, and so she wants to give everything back to Bailey. So yeah, there's more of a feel good moment for them winning. As compared to like Lash and Nia retaining, or even Charlotte and Lex. I think, like you said, I think they're due to probably like go their separate ways and go back into like either would it be the main title picture or the mid card. I mean, if you want to like slide in like if Becky does retain the IC or regain the IC, like you can instantly slot in Charlotte, Alexa. Same thing like for the main title picture. Like if whoever wins, like you can just easily slot those women in perfectly. Um, then the belt, like I don't they even if Nikki was fine, like it's just putting the belts on them would just be a bad mistake, honestly. Like, and I know that's the reason why they came back. I know they want the titles, and I'm pretty sure they will at some point become
At
the
some
tag
point,
team
yeah.
champions. It's just inevitable. I just really hope it's not this moment because I honestly think that'd be the bad call. And if that is the call, I hope Vegas moves the hell out of him. But
I'll be on that. I'll be on that train. So my wife. My wife hates the Bellas.
yeah, so for all those reasons, just there's such a more feel good story of Bailey and Lara. So yeah, I'm rolling with them to win the tag team titles.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% everything there. Yeah, I do think eventually it will happen. Maybe it's like a SummerSlam thing potentially.
Yeah, give it to them at SummerSlam. Don't matter.
Give some on the night 1 opening show or something. But yeah, eventually I do think it will. I just don't think it's at this time. And again, I think that injury kind of does halt it a little bit, hopefully, unless creative is just stupid, like, all right, we'll have you win and just be off TV for a little, which I think will just be a bad move. Cause I feel like the tag team titles have finally had some you regain momentum. I've been, obviously I've talked about the podcast how these women's tag team titles have yet to do anything, but it's regained some momentum ever since Charlotte and Alexa have been part of that pair. So hopefully they can keep up the momentum here. And I feel like Bailey and Lyra are the perfect duo to do that. Not saying Lash and I haven't done that, but if there's anybody here you're going to trust to carry on these titles here, it's definitely the pairing of Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. Next one here, second to last match here, we got Seth Rollins versus Gunther. 2 weeks ago, I would have said this match made no sense at all. Obviously, last week we had the Gunther involvement saying like you owed him a favor, or now he's going to owe him a favor. Within a week, they finally made some sense of a storytelling. And now it finally makes sense here. I was never mad at the match itself. That match is going to be an absolute freaking banger. Don't believe they've ever wrestled each other, which is kind of hard to believe, especially how much they've been on Raw. Obviously Gunther had his so long IC title reign, and kind of like what Gunther mentioned as well. Seth Rollins was parading around with the heavyweight title and then created the division. So, from my understanding, this is a first time ever match. So I'm really, really excited for that to be a part of that. There is no doubt in my mind that these guys are not going to put on an absolute banger. And we've seen some hints there as far as that. But yeah, I was sold in the story as far as today. Gunther kind of relaying here that you went around being the champ and didn't do shit with it. I had to pick it up and carry this and do this and that. So that sold me instantly. But yeah, this one here is very interesting. Do you keep up the momentum of Gunther being the career killer? Do you have Seth Rollins lose his first match back at WrestleMania? Those are definitely some arguments that you can make. But I think if the career path that we see from Gunther dating back to December, heading on to now, I think it would really hurt the momentum that he's built up. Beating John Cena, retiring AJ Styles, I think him losing will kind of kill that momentum a little bit. Not saying Seth Rollins not up to that stature, but if you want to promote him as a career killer in some sort of fashion, you do have to continue to build this up. Is there involvement from Braun Breaker? Is there involvement from the Vision? Obviously, Bronson Reed is off the shelf, but Austin Theory and Logan Paul are still part of the Vision. That is still an involvement. And Seth Rollins has mentioned that his goal is to, 1, destroy the Vision, and 2, gain back the World Heavyweight title. So is there involvement from them? Who knows? But this one here, I do have Gunther beating Seth Rollins here in an absolute no doubt in my mind, 5-star match.
Yeah, I have to go with Gunther on this one just 'cause I think his momentum has stalled a little bit just because we didn't know what he was going to be doing for WrestleMania. I know the whole rumor was Rey Mysterio, and then when he got automatically and then he got hurt, and then he somehow was
He
fine
said,
for the
he said,
ladder
I ain't
match.
retiring, throw him in the ladder match. That's likely what he said.
Yeah, it kind of threw me for a
That'll work
whirlwind,
for
but
me,
yeah,
brother.
yeah, he pulled this Hogan card on this one. Um, I think a victory for Gunther would do. I think continue the momentum, and even not to say the whole like the career killer thing, but maybe it can be the physical part where maybe it looks like he re-injured Chest again. I mean, I don't know if he wants to do another fake injury angle. I think he talked about how it
I think
kind
he
of
talked about
karma
how
them.
how that karma them.
Yeah. But I mean, you can kind of even go that esque route if you wanted to, or if you want to get involvement from. I think they said a Braun had been training, so maybe see him come back, and then we kind of rebuild or reestablish that Seth Rollins Vision feud, say, and then continue with Bronson with Braun
Braun.
Breaker. I was like, God damn, what the hell's the name? And then Gunther can kind of go on his own and see what the heck that favor now that he owes from Paul Heyman. So I don't know, kind of interesting. The story can go a lot of ways, regardless of whoever wins this match. But I do think it's going to go with Gunther on this one. The ring general.
Yeah, I agree. I think again, Seth Rollins taking a loss at WrestleMania, it won't hurt his stock. He's one of those guys again where I feel like he can lose a string of matches or can lose, a match here and there. And I feel like it won't hurt his stock and it kind of just builds on to this ongoing story. Which Seth Rollins, I'm now glad I have become a coffee connoisseur the last couple of months and
Oh
weeks.
yeah, I
So
heard they have
yeah,
made coffee.
yeah, he's gonna have a booth at WWE World. They're gonna be serving coffee. Him and Becky.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. My wife was very excited for that one too. Wink, wink. She's just a classified hater. If she listens to this, baby, I love it. But yeah, she's just a classified hater.
Is I know she's excited for fucking. Oh, I know she was upset when Sammy got announced for night 2.
Oh yeah, she was ecstatic. So funny story. We were watching Friday Night SmackDown. So
Yeah,
we were watching because she's been watching because obviously she's been gearing and she watches here and there. I'll pick her up, but she never really sits down and watches it full pledge. So we watch SmackDown.
Yeah, Sammy wants to know why you hate him.
So we watched it from start to finish. And I told her, I was like, hey, they're booing Sammy. I was like, oh, they finally caught along, huh? I was like, God damn. So I was like, man.
Boy.
I was like, man, but yeah, she was very excited to know that he's not part of our card here. But obviously we'll talk about that match here in a couple of minutes. Last match here on night 1, we got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. If Randy Orton loses, McAfee will leave the professional wrestling business for good, as he says. This one here has been I'm excited just for the aspect of Cody and Randy. Again, to echo what we talked about last week, the build to this, how they've butchered this storyline. I think Cody even said on a podcast today, or a clip came out today. He's like, he was my dad's last match. He was my first match. We have 20 plus year history. He was my mentor, and we got Pat McAfee involved. It just to me still makes no sense whatsoever. Like I really, if there's anything I want to see in Unreal, it's this. I really want to hear what was that phone call like? Like why did Pat McAfee need to be involved? Is not making any fucking sense, like whatsoever. Like shitting on night 2, like if your thing is to sell tickets, is to move tickets, shitting on night 2 is not gonna do that. Like, why would you say, "Oh, don't go watch night 2. That shit's gonna suck. Go watch night 1." Like, why would you say that as a company? It makes no fucking sense. That's like saying like, "Hey, buy my product," but oh yeah, this shit might break in a couple of weeks, so don't buy it. Like, it makes no fucking sense. The thing where, well, what's the stupid ad? The truck, oh, I called these people to give them 25% off. Now you got 25% off. That still doesn't make any fucking sense. And like calling WWE fans poor, like that to me just rubs me the wrong way. Like that, like if I'm like, I'm not saying I'm rich or anything, but like if I was in that standard or like if I wanted to watch WWE and you're calling me poor, like that honestly would turn me away. So that's really weird. Like I know there's things as he I get it, but I think there's a way to get there if you're in this in a way that to me is just the wrong way. the CM Punk shit, even as much of a CM Punk fan I am, didn't really do anything for me. Like, what did he say? Something like again, didn't make no fucking sense. Like, of course it's TKO Brad stuff in WWE shop. Like, what the fuck else do you want him to wear? Like, it doesn't make any sense as well. Calling his bank account like sorry in Saudi Arabia. So I don't know, man. It just did not make any sense whatsoever. I know they've been hinting that in it. Nick Aldis mentioned it as well. That he's getting calls from the higher ups as far as like, hey, don't touch him. Make sure nobody touches him. Who that higher up is? Is it The Rock? Is it like an on-screen area manual? I know some crazy ass people were saying if Vince McMahon. I don't know if they'll fucking do that. But yeah, this has just been an absolute fucking shit show. Jelly Roll involved last week as well. It's just been a mess from start to finish. I'm excited for the match still, just Randy and Cody itself, not with the Obama McAfee, but yeah, I just realized I didn't even give a prediction. I fucking spoke for like 5 minutes. So, man, if you really want to piss off people, you have Randy win. But man, it's hard for me to get there at this point. Just because I fucking hate Pat McAfee and what they're doing right now. I hope Cody wins, and that'll be my pick. But it would not surprise me one bit if they would go with Randy, and it kind of builds this Cody thing again, where he's building up to get to the title. And again, I know people have been throwing some crazy ass predictions there, like what if it's The Rock, what if he's coming back? I don't think that's gonna happen. I've seen crazier stuff. Fuck, last year we had Travis Scott walking down the ramp for 5 minutes. So crazy stuff has happened, but
forgot about that.
Yeah. So if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes. But again, you're more than welcome to say how you feel about this, but this has just been an absolute shit show.
Yeah, I think when we talked about it, when Pat McAfee was revealed as the caller, I think we came on here that following week. We talked how much we disliked it. We didn't get to talk about the last This Fast Fridays promo, and I honestly think it made it worse. Just the way it just nothing made sense. Like, it kind of was just like yin and yang. Like, he was talking about like, oh, you're too poor, blah blah blah, but don't go to night 2, night 1, and we're gonna give you 25% off. And it was just a weird way to promote ticket sales. Like, it was just very very odd. Like, yeah, if this does get documented for Unreal, I would love to see who was the idiot who did this and what was the thought process behind it, because my god, this has been probably the worst. This is like the how to ruin a 20-year story in 5 minutes kind of thing. Like, this is how bad it's been. And I even tweeted at it. And I know that I've seen like a couple of people on the internet who say like, oh, I like it and I like the promo and blah blah blah. Like, you're lying to yourself. Like, don't try to be the one like, oh, I want to be the cool guy and I want to be different than everybody else. Like, no, it's been trash. Like, nothing about this was good whatsoever. It just made it worse. Like, you did not even need a phone call to begin with. Like, all you needed was just Randy and Cody. That's all you needed. It was literally right there for you, and they had to go and mess it up again. And I did not know about that stipulation about if Orton loses, McAfee will leave professional wrestling. That is honestly now scaring me, because I know there's rumblings of a backlash match between Randy and Pat versus Cody and Jelly Roll. So for that reason, I unfortunately think that he's going to get screwed out again at WrestleMania by another celebrity. And so I think Randy Orton's probably going to make this one. And hopefully, I don't know if they want to drag this out, give us a better storyline at SummerSlam. I don't know. Like, I really don't. But just for that reason alone, knowing that the way that they're going to promote these stupid ticket sales for Backlash, in your good old celebrity match at Backlash. Yeah, I think Randy Orton is gonna take this one. I would love for Cody to win, just because I feel so bad for him, dude. I don't know why like people turn on him like so bad already. Like, I just don't understand like what it is about him that people just all of a sudden switching up on him. And
the shit that he deals with and the shit that they've thrown him the last 2 years, fuck, you can say 3 years, you could date back to 40. He was gonna be sidelined by the fucking Rock. And then you have to deal with heel Cena and Travis Scott, and now this. Like, I generally feel bad for him. Like, this dude is a true, like, I know that there's the QB1 type thing, but like this dude is a true like professional as far as like this is the cards that I'm dealt. I know John Cena used to always say this, like, these are the cards that I'm dealt. How can I handle this? How can I deal with this hand? So the fact that it's 3 WrestleManias in a row where he's just dealt with a bunch of bullshit, I will never say a bad thing about Cody Rhodes whatsoever. Like, he will have my utmost respect in the ring and outside the ring, and he keeps it so professional too outside as well when he's doing podcast interviews, things like that. I know people always like to say like, oh, he talks like a politician and stuff like that, but there's a reason why WWE, I guess, trust them in this type of roles and type of environments, because if it's like a CM Punk, if it's like a somebody else who's very vocal, like, they're going to speak their mind and kind of just go off on everybody. And yeah, so he will always have my respect for the last bullshit that he's dealt with the last 3 years.
Yeah, I think maybe like even like hanging around like John Cena probably this past year, like kind of like because like talking about dealing shitty hands. Like you remember when John Cena like lost to Kevin Federline like years ago, back when they had those when they had those like anonymous GMs and GMs of the
I know,
nights and shit.
the GMs,
So
yeah.
yeah, so like that's the kind of shit that John Cena would put up with back then. Now Cody's dealing with it, and that's just. But look at the way John Cena was treated, like he was the main guy and was the main guy for years. So, if Cody's willing to, I mean, deal with the bullshit for 2 WrestleManias in a row, I guess he's so. If it's the way they say, like, if it's good for business, then you do it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how this is good for business, but it is what it is at this point. And yeah, so I think Randy Orton will be what 15 time?
15, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be passing up.
Hopefully Triple H will be like, oh, hopefully Triple H is like, I don't work for me, brother. As long as I'm here, you ain't pass me up.
Yeah.
I know that's always been the rumor, but or they always says online, but
because Triple H is I don't work for me, brother. Triple H 14 too, right? I think they're both tied at 14.
14. Yeah, they're both tied at 14.
Yeah, damn, crazy. But yeah.
So, yeah, I totally forgot about the Jelly Roll and Cody shit. I forgot that's a rumor for Backlash. So yeah, I'll probably be wrong on my pick. I'm just picking that for the sake of my fucking sanity. Because yeah, I don't know what that reaction will be.
I was picking Cody for the majority of the time, just because even when this whole thing started, I was like, yeah, there's no fucking way they're gonna fucking rip him off 2 WrestleManias in a row. But then now that stupid stipulations there, and it's that just yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so who knows? That is night 1. Again, as much as we just shot on that main event here, again, very overall excited for the overall card itself. Absolute banger on that card. Again, I will be there in attendance. So if you want to see that in-person vlog, make sure you are subscribing to the channel and following, because I will be making a bunch of shorts and a bunch of vlogs covering the whole weekend. But now let's head into night 2. Kicking off here, like Ropio mentioned here, promoting it, free on ESPN. We got Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. This one here, again, being a selfish big bastard that I was last week, I was on record saying that this should be main eventing night 1, because again, I'll be a selfish big bastard because the night I am. I will admit, I am very upset. I am not seeing this match in person. Luckily, I've been able to see Obafemi wrestle in person. Obviously, we saw him at Deadline. So it's not one of those things like, damn, I haven't seen him wrestle. And obviously, we saw him at San Antonio. This kick off this feud. But yeah, this one here, very excited for it here. In ring's gonna be absolutely insane to see these 2 beasts go against each other. The in-ring promo that we saw today from Oba was fantastic. It's so freaking cool how fast he's been able to catch on so well. And it does show that when you build up the NXT to the main roster, there are good examples of that. If it clicks well, it clicks. And there's another talent here involved on here, also an example of that as well. This one here, I know again, there's been the rumor that this is Brock's last WrestleMania. I will tell if that is true, but even throwing that out aside, I do have Obafemi taking this one. I think it's very hard. I know some people, I think I've seen some people make videos. I haven't really seen them yet, but people talking about how Brock Lesnar can win this match. In my mind, I think it's very hard. Again, if you're kind of, we talked about with Seven Vicker, if your intention is to show who's the next rising star, who's the next future that we're building up to this mantle, that being a Brock Lesnar, a future champion, another beast, that being Obafemi, kind of had a hard for him to lose, especially when, again, it's free on ESPN. And I think we've kind of seen it with Brock in years past that when he works with talent that he likes, which I based off what I'm seeing here, I believe he will like work. He likes working with Obafemi, based on what we've just been seeing here on television. So he's very much involved in this. What we've seen, if he's involved with the talent, likes the talent, he'll put them over. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. But yeah, this one here, I do got Obafemi taking this one and kicking off WrestleMania Night 2 free on ESPN.
ESPN 2. Yeah, it's got to be Oba on this one. I mean, the aura level that this man is just freaking bringing to on the Mondays, and now even got crowd shots of people doing his little walk and stuff like that. I do think a loss would, I don't want to say it hurt it completely, but it would put like a stop, like, oh, he lost kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think they need to build on this monster dominant character. And what's way to do it than to just beat Brock? I don't think it's gonna be a squash. I know Brock is capable of being squashed. I just have to Bill Goldberg about it. But yeah, I think if they give him, I hope they give him enough time to like kind of just, I think I said this a couple weeks ago, but just be meaty man and just beat each other up and stuff like that.
Big sweaty man slapping meat.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. And yeah, I think him beating Brock would just propel him even further. That Oba's already going, and so for that, yeah, we got Oba winning this one.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% here. I agree with as far as that as well. Like if he was to lose, it's kind of one of those moments like, damn, like he lost, but him losing to Brock Lesnar, I think it's one of those things where it wouldn't necessarily kill his stock, but it's one of those things like, damn, like he lost. But hopefully that is not the case there. Kicking it off here, or heading off here, I should say, is the 6-man ladder match. We got Penta for the IC title. We got Penta versus Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev versus Rey Mysterio. I'll throw it over you, Broker. I know you were talking about a couple episodes ago, you just love your good old-fashioned multi-man gimmick match here for the mid-card title. So I'll throw it over you first here. Out of these 6 men, who is walking home back to Vegas as IC champ?
Yeah, man, holy, this is gonna be crazy. I think this has like match of the night potential, just because all of these guys 100%. Minus Rusev are very high floor. They're all high flyers. But I do think it's funny too, because I think Rusev was like, I think he was criticized a lot. I think even talked about how it doesn't really fit in to the style. But I mean, look what he just did tonight. Like he literally just took like everybody out of the ring. And so a sense where it's like, yeah, these guys can be quick, but I got the the strength as well. So I do think he does fit in this match. I'm excited. And there's just like a lot of like underdogs in here, like Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, like those guys typically you don't really see that often, like in these kind of matches, especially at WrestleMania. These are big guys you see in the goddamn Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Which unfortunately, like people like Carmelo Hayes and stuff like that are subject to. But for this, I got Penta retaining. I really don't see a good title change or a need for a title change at that. I mean, it would be pretty cool to see Javon Evans win the IC title in his first WrestleMania, but yeah, I really don't. Like I said, I don't see like it's not necessary for a title change. So I'm gonna roll with Penta on this one. I'm keeping it at home.
Yep, and I will be in the same boat as you. I will go with Penta here, taking this one, retaining the IC title. Again, there's a lot of great talent involved in this. You could definitely make the argument for Javon Evans, being the youngest one in this match as well, being the youngest, I think, superstar on between both nights here. So, of course, that'll be very exciting. Dragon Lee as well. Jaden McDonough, I think he's still involved with the, obviously still be involved with the Judgment Day. Don't think you have that right now. Rusev, again, very interesting X factor, as we like to say here. Just due to the size, and obviously Rey Mysterio, for whatever reason, decided like, not me, brother, not getting retired here, going to be thrown to the IC title match, what I think is a perfect match to come back from an injury. But yeah, it wouldn't make sense as far as that. So yeah, this one here, I do have Penta retaining, keeping the momentum here, and honestly can go off and have great match with everybody involved in a single match. Javon, Dragon Lee, JD, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, obviously set those up in moving forward after post WrestleMania. So yeah, this one here do got Penta retaining the IC title. Let's head off here now to the only women's match here on night 2. Would have thought Asuka and Io would have been added here, but that is not the case. So the only women's match here on night 2 is between the women's championship here. We got Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. This one here, not like Liv and Steph. I think they tried building on somewhat of a story, kind of being like, you're bigger than me, you're, much stronger, your shoulders are bigger than mine. Didn't really hit well. You can kind of make the argument that it's kind of heated up the last couple. Obviously, the involvement of EO being back involved, the Jade Cargill and Meechin and BFAB taking her out, and then Rhea Ripley, paying the receipts back last Friday, taking out both Meechin and BFAB, which that person was nice to see. But this one here, again, not to fault Jade. I think, again, it's been what we've talked about with a lot of the women's feuds here and women reigns is that, they're kind of being fed, superstars or storylines that are just, haven't really clicked. It's not a fault to them. I was really excited when Jade took over as champion, but again, just didn't really do anything. She feuded with Meechin, BFAB, and then they formed a stable, and then it kind of went from there. Didn't defend it for so long. Then she defended against the debuting Jordan Grace, which I love Jordan Grace. I think she's a great talent, has a bright future ahead of her. I think it was too soon for that. Now she's out with the injury. I think she came back, but obviously now it's sidelined there with an injury. But this one here, again, I think if you want to get some momentum back to that SmackDown brand, momentum back to that women's championship, which again can kind of say has been eluded a little bit here. I think it has to be back with Rhea Ripley being back on top. So this one here, I do have Rhea Ripley becoming your new women's champion.
Yeah, Mommy's going back on top on this one. Yeah, there's just this title reign from Jade has been next level awful. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it. Like, you can even go back and listen to like previous pods that we did, like predictions when Jade was first beefing with Tiffany over the belt. I said, if you wanted to give us a shot, like this would be the time to do it, to kind of have her. I think it was with the Saturday Night events or SummerSlam. I said she could have won at SummerSlam and then kind of like ride it out for a little bit and see how it is and have her lose here, but she didn't win to Saturday's main event later on that year, kind of thing. So, like I said, they could probably rate it out till WrestleMania. And here we are, WrestleMania, fighting for the belt. And I think Rhea grabbing that belt off her can offer a sense of refreshness to that belt and for that brand, regardless. And save us from what this cut off with Jade Cargill thing has been. Even with this like rap pairing with Meechin and BFAB. I mean, I get why they did it, but it just really wasn't working for me. Not really. It doesn't make me more interested in Jade as champion kind of thing. And then it being how quickly like Rhea took them out, like she just took them out all in one night. So it's like, all right, I guess they aren't that dominant after all. So for that, I have Rhea going back to being WWE Women's World Champion and saving SmackDown. So.
Yeah, if there's going to be one woman to save SmackDown, it is going to be Rhea Ripley. So with Mommy being back on top, so I'll be very excited for that. It's been a while since she's had a main title. So yeah, going to be very, very excited to see that. Hopefully happening on Sunday night. Going off here to who we briefly mentioned here, we got Sami Zayn as your United States champion going against Trick Willie with Little Yachty. This here is for the United States Championship match. Now, I know we've been shitting on celebrities, or we talked about the involvement of celebrities. Again, like ISO Speed, I actually do like the involvement of Little Yachty. Again, entertaining. I've been very entertained by Little Yachty. I'm not even a big Little Yachty fan.
Fire. Did you see it? Did you see his shirt on Friday? That was such a fire
the gingerbread.
The gingerbread.
Yeah, the gingerbread. In general, I listen here and there, but listen to more Little Yachty. He does have some like wrestling references in his music, so I think that's pretty cool. Obviously we've seen him in the crowd as well. We had the PSP. I know he's been iconic for that in the crowd. So yeah, this one here, I've been generally enjoying the involvement that he's had here. I know he put out a post too that people were booing him. I think it's people who just absolutely hate everything involves celebrities, which again, valid, but when there's good celebrity involvement, it's good celebrity involvement. What's this one here?
When it's done right,
when it's done right, yes.
Yeah. If you go back all the way to WrestleMania 1, you can see the celebrity involvement. Like, this is not something that's new. Exactly. So I think it's just when it's done right and it's not like forced on us and thrown into storylines like Cody and Randy. I don't want to bring that up again, but when it's done right, it can get by. So, but
yeah, I agree.
I agree. This
I
one's done
agree.
right.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. When naturally fed right, not forced, and he's not in the third. So it's naturally done right. And Little Yachty and Trick Williams do have a natural relationship as well. So that's also very cool. So the fact that they're, both pairing is just been very, very exciting. Like I was mentioning with Obafemi, it's so nice to see Trick Williams transition to the main roster and seeing this like crowd reaction come naturally again from the time that he spent at NXT to here. So glad that it's followed through. So yeah, this one here, hard to deny the boos for Sami Zayn. And I'm glad that they've acknowledged. I'm glad it wasn't one of those things where they just ignored it and played it through. I'm absolutely glad that they went to it and hopefully it can lead to something bigger for Sami Zayn down the line. Like, you guys booed me for absolutely like no reason. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I answered an open challenge. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. And you can say here his win over Carmelo was, you can call it heels, but Trick Williams did assist with that. So, and he took advantage. I mean, anybody would do that. So you kind of echo the same thing here. But yeah, this one here, I do got a short reign for Sami Zayn here. This will be the one match where I'll be like, damn, like if he loses, I will be very disappointed this one here. But I do got Trick Williams winning this one here and becoming his very first ever United States champion and holding his first ever title on the main roster here. I'm pretty sure you might be echoing the same thing here, but yeah, this one here, do got Trick Williams becoming your new U.S. champion.
Yeah, there's has Trick lost in the main roster yet? Do you know off the top of your head?
Just the fatal 4-way, to qualify.
The number one to qualify,
Yeah.
right? That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's the only one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it'd be hard to see Trick losing, especially like again with all the momentum that he has. Although I think a loss for him would probably not even hurt just because he's like so over. I'm kind of thinking like I don't know if they're trying to play into this whole heel Sami Zayn thing, and it's not really heel, but like more of like why are y'all doing me kind of thing. And I don't know if they're going to continue with that. And I mean, what way to continue with that than to beat Trick at WrestleMania? God, this is hard because I always thought it was going to be Trick, and now I'm going back and forth if I think Sammy's going to retain because I don't know if they. I mean, obviously they took the belt off Carmelo and they saw the reaction, so I mean they can either further get this reaction more if Trick loses, and they can even play more into the whole Trick storyline where he's just like, you can't get it done, blah blah blah. Like, hey, I did it done kind of sense, and now you can bring in Carmelo Hayes back into the mix and Ilya Dragunov, and maybe we can get ourselves a nice little fatal fight for the United States title. Damn. All right, I'm going wild card here. I'm going Sami Zayn on this one, retaining the U.S. title.
Sammy.
Yeah, I'm going
the
Sammy on this one.
Man.
The gingerbread man, the ginger ale. Oh man.
Yeah, that promo on Friday absolutely killed me. These last two weeks of promos from Trick Williams have been absolute 10 out of 10 work from him. But yeah, overall, I think again
he's just so over.
Yeah, he's on a different level. When you talk about over, there's levels to being over, and he's just on a different level here. So yeah, hopefully they take advantage of that. And he's walking out of Vegas as your new U.S. champ. But if not, I can definitely see where you're coming from as far as the playing into the Sammy heel dish thing. Maybe he wins with a heelish tactic. Who knows? Like, you want a reason to boo me? Well, here you go. So yeah. Can definitely see that playing out moving forward. Next match here, we got the returning for the first time. I think they said in 3 years, if I'm not mistaken here. The returning Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Just a straight up singles match, no stipulation from what I'm seeing here, or as far as what's been announced here, is just a straight up Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. This one here, I feel like with this new regime, Triple H being familiar with the Demon, obviously having those ties back down to NXT, hopefully bringing back the importance of that character, the importance of what the Demon represents as far as with that. So this one here, I would have Finn Balor winning this one here. I don't think you're going to announce it and promote it. I know some people are saying they wanted to wish it was a surprise, which I get that 100%. Obviously, their motive right now is to move tickets as much as possible. And what moves tickets here is announcing that the Demon Finn Balor is coming back in the promo they aired today. Even though it was so subtle, they didn't really even do anything. It was just so cool to see the smoke and hearing the heartbeats again. Like, that's going to be absolutely freaking sick. So yeah, this one here, I do have the Demon Finn Balor coming back and being victorious over Dirty Dom.
Yeah, yeah, I got Demon Finn on this one too. I don't think you can have him lose, well, the Demon lose 2 WrestleManias in a row. Last being, well, Demon wise, the Demon lost to Ed in a Hell in a Cell,
Not for
which
me, brother.
Edge pulled out his Hulk Hogan card on that one and said nope. Yeah, I saw the chatter, like people were like upset that they got announced and blah blah blah. I honestly didn't really care. I mean, they've been teasing the Demon for like months.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they did like the Judgment Day like locker room segments, like you would see like the demon stuff in the background and stuff like that, and then you even had the stuff in Triple Diminito. Like it was all there. Like so, I can see why people are maybe upset, but again, it's kind of like if you didn't know this coming, then it's kind of on you in a way. Maybe no offense, but yeah, I got Demon Finn winning this one. Ain't no way he's losing.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way he can lose 3 years in a row. Obviously losing to Edge, you want to go day back even further, obviously losing against Roman Reigns when they had that weird ass ending there. So when he's like, well, he's working like, yeah, he's like pulsing. So yeah. I was saying, if there's anybody that understands the Demon and knows how to book the Demon, it is Triple H. Obviously, again, going back to their ties down to NXT. Now heading off to the main event of night 2. We got CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. So all the damn CM Punk haters can finally shut the hell up. You know, people say, oh, he didn't main event a true main event. Well, there you go. He has his night true main event. People always say night 2 is the true main event. So here it is, you damn haters. We got CM Punk versus Roman Reigns again for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship here. Again, talked about feuds, storylines, things of that nature. This one here has been a phenomenal build. One thing I would say, I would think maybe one would be like my one little critique if I was really just being real nitpicky, like the stupid internet trolls that we see. I wish we had a little bit of a drawback to the Shield. I know we kind of got it in some video packages, but I didn't think we got that in promo work, like kind of saying like, I protected you 10 years ago, then you left us and you didn't do anything for us, and you were talking shit about me. I know they kind of hinted a little bit. You know, obviously going back to the famous Punk Colt Cabana podcast where, you know, Vince was saying like, oh, you're going to go over, but you got to make Roman look really, really good. Like I would have loved to have seen that just a little bit more. We got it kind of a little bit, but didn't get it too much. So again, if I was being one of these stupid internet trolls, not to nitpick anything, that would be my one thing. But you know, dating back to, you know, when we talked about, you know, burying his father, the promo work that we got last week, and even the promo that we got today was very refreshing. It wasn't the same shit that we saw, you know, 2 weeks ago or the same repetitive stuff. Like it was very refreshing. You know, CM Punk acknowledging that, you know, everything that, you know, as a CM Punk fan, you kind of, you know, feel everything that he said, like everything that Roman has done, like that's everything that he wanted to do, even though he shot on the last week, he shot at how bad those WrestleMania moments were. But like dating back to the pipe bomb, like being the guy that went on Conan, being the guy that was on the merchandise, being the guy on the cups, like that is everything that CM Punk wanted, and Roman did that. Was it good? You can make the argument it wasn't, which is what CM Punk is actually saying. So it was very refreshing to see that and hear that from him in today's promo or tonight's promo. Roman Reigns also acknowledging as well, you know, like saying like I hate you. He's obviously been on the record of saying that multiple times. But yeah, this has just been phenomenal from start to finish. This one here, not being a homer, just because I am obviously I'm a CM Punk fan. This one here, I would have CM Punk winning this one. It's very and not being biased here. This has been a phenomenal World Heavyweight Championship run for CM Punk. I know that there was some worrisome in the beginning, but this has been a phenomenal run. I've loved every bit of it as a fan. Even if I wasn't a fan of CM Punk, it's hard to deny what he's done for this title. And again, it's kind of hard for me to put the title. If I was creative, it's hard for me to put the title back on Roman. You know, if he is a part timer, not there every day, kind of goes against everything that this title has been built for and was created for. And I know Roman kind of hinted at that today in today's promo as well, kind of saying like, I'm gonna, you know, bring back everything that you couldn't do as a champion. You know, talking about the ratings, money, things like that, selling tickets. If you want to go date back to that as well. But even with all that being said, this one here, Duke got CM Punk winning his first ever main event and retaining the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I find it. I just can't see them wrapping the belt around Roman specifically if he's going to be part time. Like I think it was like you said, when they introduced this belt, like this was the workhorse belt, and it was given to Seth, and Seth defended it like pretty much like every other month or on Raw and stuff like that. And even if you want to like go back to like the WrestleMania 40 like promos, like Roman Reigns shit on this belt for like months, saying how that was the belt and this was the real belt and blah blah blah. So to now to kind of see him like fighting over it and going to the lengths of like he wants to, well, I'm gonna take this belt and we're gonna go back to like the way it used to. Like it just, I don't know. I don't personally see it. I do have CM Punk winning this one as well, and I think again, just if you want to go back to full circle moments, like this is what CM Punk has always wanted. He's wanted to headline WrestleMania, you know, defending the belt, and he's finally going to do it. So I think for him to successfully defend it, I think would probably do. I'm pretty sure it means more to him than we can probably ever imagine. I know we see this stuff happen last year when he headlined night one on Saturday. You saw how emotional he got over that. So I can only imagine like what it's going to be like to walk out, you know, night two, what people consider the true main event of WrestleMania, to walk out as champion and stuff like that. And to hopefully walk out as champion as well. That'd be, you know, I'm pretty sure that's going to be more to him than we will probably ever know. But yeah, I got CM on this one. Like I said, it's just hard for me to see them strapping the belt on a part-timer because I don't think Roman's schedule's changing anytime soon. I just don't see it. So I do see CM Punk defending it and Roman Reigns going on a vacation up until SummerSlam. So get that PTO back. So
yeah, this technically that the refresh year for WWE. Once WrestleMania is over, you get all your sick time, your availability back. So the PTO definitely comes back for Roman Reigns, so he definitely will be gone. He'll make a one-off appearance on Monday Night Raw, and then like, oh, there's my sick time, and I'm gone for the rest of the year until SummerSlam. But no, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I even as a non-biased CM Punk fan, I do think night 1 and 2 are their own main events. I don't see it as that ever. So, dating back to last year, like you mentioned, that being CM Punk's true first main event. I know, again, some people might say, well, night 2 is always the big one. That's the true main event. So if you want to, have that argument, now you really don't, because he has as officially under his belt, which, again, as a CM Punk fan, I'm so proud to see that for him. Again, me being a selfish bastard, wish that was night 1. If he comes out to the AFI song, I'm going to lose my absolute fucking shit. I know that's been a rumor right now. If that is true, I'm going to turn back the flight. I'm gonna take over that flight, fly back to Vegas. I'm gonna buy my own ticket. So and then leave that same night. Because that's gonna be absolutely fucking phenomenal if he does come out to that. But yeah, again, as a CM Punk fan, it's hard to be. It's very proud to see what our boy has done here. So I'm very, very excited to see it on night 2 at home. Hopefully, I'll be home in time for that. But yeah, time will tell.
Yeah.
But yeah. That is night 2, everybody. That is our WrestleMania predictions. You guys have to let us know, who do you guys have winning WrestleMania? Again, feel free to chat with us again at Moon3PO, at EditClicks. Again, socials are down in the description down below. Wherever you get your podcast, they are down there. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, all of our descriptions down there. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to put in the comments down below. Who do you got winning? Do you agree, disagree? Again, sign on comments below, or again, feel free to message us over on our social platform. We just love talking wrestling, and who doesn't? It's WrestleMania season, guys. Again, I know the build hasn't really been that great, but it's WrestleMania season, so we just love talking wrestling here. Now on to some card talk here. Again, I know we briefly talked about it at the beginning of the episode. There has been some this is probably one of Topps Wrestling's busiest weeks here ahead of WrestleMania. Like we talked about last week, and I talked about in my short form contents, that it was confirmed that Topps logo fractor is officially coming. If you guys are not familiar with Topps logo fractor, what that is, basically it's the same deal as Chrome. It's just, you guys are familiar, the baseball have the MLB logo all over the card itself. Same deal, but it's going to be the WWE logo. If you're familiar with Panini Prism, they did it for WrestleMania 40, how they had the WrestleMania 40 bell logo all over the card. Basically the same deal, but that's going to be on every base card. So that is consisting of Topps logo fractor. Now, there isn't a price point as far as of yet. There's not a box configuration as far as of yet. And again, these boxes are only exclusive to WWE World. So if you're at WWE World in Las Vegas at the convention center, you will be the only ones able to get these boxes. From my understanding, these are not dropping via EQL. It's not like Cactus Jack. We saw that last year with Cactus Jack, where they dropped EQL. to those at home. From my understanding, this is an exclusive WWE World product. Which again, I will be there, so I will be trying to get my hands on these boxes here to maybe get one or two to cover them because again, we don't know the box configuration here. We do got a checklist though. Based from what I'm seeing on the checklist, it is following the retail format because we do got the inserts of the eras of excellence. Oh my god, I can't speak. And focus reel and the WrestleMania recall. So those are the uh retail format exclusive. So it tells me here that it's going to be following the retail format. So kind of having a mega box configuration here. Autograph here are potentially can be found here in these boxes. But it's not a full-fledged autograph list here. If you're like myself and love NXT and like following, the evolve NXT talent, this might be the product for you because this is very NXT heavy. Basically all of Dark State have their autographs in here. Those are absent in Topps Chrome. We've been talking about her a lot the last year and a half. Kendall Gray. So Kendall Gray does not have autographs in Topps Chrome, but she will have autographs in Topps Chrome logo fractor. Her first ever Topps Chrome and Topps ever autograph will be in Topps Chrome logo fractor. She didn't have Topps Now, didn't have in a Topps Finest. So again, her first autos will be hitting in Topps Chrome logo fractor, which again makes it a very, very exciting chase. Some other names here: Carly Bright, who we've seen down at Evolve. I know some people have been talking about her. Tyra May Steele also has autos here as well. So again, a lot of NXT talent involved, which of course you do have some main superstars involved again, like CM Punk, Braun Breaker. Looks like here Roman Reigns has autographs. So Ruka, Sonny Vakur, Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, John Cena, Liv Morgan, The Rock, Trick Willie, The Undertaker, Uncle Howdy. So again, you can see here there's a mix of legends, NXT, and current superstars in here. Again, me personally, because I will be there, I'm very, very excited for it. I will be trying to get a hold of at least one, maybe two boxes here. But again, this is the first time that we're seeing Topps Chrome logo factor hitting the WWE line here and hitting WWE Topps Chrome. So with that information, Bro Prio, are you excited for Topps Chrome logo factor? And is this a box here where you're gonna be texting me like, hey, try to give me a box here?
Yeah, I can imagine how much it's probably going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty big. Obviously, we don't have that info yet, but I guess probably maybe once. Well, when does WWE World start? Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
So maybe once people are hitting there, I'm pretty sure the price will surface. Probably going to have to maybe steer away from this one if it's too expensive. Might have to be like a singles chase on the secondary market, which I'm also kind of scared about because people like to prices, especially on release day and stuff like that. So I can only imagine how many pictures are going to be taken there at the convention center and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just something to just keep an eye on, like all the NXT names that you brought up, like Dark State, Kendall Gray, and stuff like that. They're going to be a hot commodity and a big chase, specifically Kendall Gray too, more specifically Kendall Gray. But yeah, I know we don't really have that much details on it, but I guess it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing. Hopefully by the time it releases, which would be the day before WWE World begins, hopefully there'll be a little bit more of a clarification. But yeah, no, I saw the design. It looked cool. I was a fan of it with like when baseball does it, like the logo fractor. I do have like a couple of cards with those. So it is gonna be pretty cool to see. But yeah, see how it goes. I guess we'll know how the configuration is. I know last year we had Cactus Jack WrestleMania. I don't know how that went. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah. No info as far as yet. So again, that's why, guys, if you guys want to follow us as closely as possible, I would highly, highly advocate that you guys go follow me over on TikTok. Again, Mood3PO, because I will be doing like basically daily uploads, record, upload. So I'll be doing everything here. I don't know if there's like actually like an in-world product or if it's exclusive also to the Superstore, because the Superstore you get in there for free. I don't have tickets for World on Thursday. I have tickets for World on Friday because that's when my meet and greets are. So I'm gonna try to see what that looks like. Maybe I'll be a crazy sick bastard and buy tickets for World on Thursday, but time will tell on that. I don't know if I'll be that crazy for it. Because again, I got myself already planned for World on Friday and don't want to kill that momentum on Friday just because I don't want to be waiting until 2 o'clock for my meet and greet, even though there's going to be a bunch of stuff to do. I don't want to kill that momentum here. Fail to recognize as well the big chase in here, or the big parallel, is the rose gold logo refractor. That's the big chase here. Those are 1 out of 350 packs. The reds are 1 out of 67. Blacks are 1 out of 34. Oranges are 1 to 14. Your golds are 1 to 7. Your greens are 1 to 4, and then of course again your base is 1 to 1, one every pack. So and again the recall and stuff like that. So again, we don't know too much about configuration here. There's no GPKs, there's no like crazy cases that we saw or that we typically see in Topps Chrome. So like the helixes, anything like that, fill the pop, hidden gems, those are not in the set. So if you're trying to chase those for logo fractors, those will not be in the set. So do keep that in mind there. Again, if you're trying to buy boxes, and if you're going to be buying boxes on secondary, again, I'll be very, very careful on that, because yeah, this does seem like this may be like a one or done for me. I just buy the box for the rip, for the content, and then obviously chase the singles here. But again, it's going to be depending on the price point. And if they have a hobby box there for 270 normal Chrome, man, I might fucking go crazy and buy myself a box of those. That'd be a fun freaking rip there at WrestleMania World. So again, make sure you are following the content for all of that. Speaking of WrestleMania, obviously we've been speaking about WrestleMania this whole podcast. There is now a new dedicated set here of Topps Now. There is a 2026 WrestleMania Vegas set. It is a 15 card set. It is available right now on the Topps website for $69.99. So Topps getting a little freaky with that. But this is a 15 card set. This is not your typical Topps Now base set. Again, like I just talked about, it's a 15 card base set, but you are guaranteed one serial numbered base parallel, one legend short print, or an autograph redemption per set. So that is really nice. For $70, you're getting 14 base cards and you're getting one guaranteed hit, which is pretty cool. And obviously, we're going to talk about the chases here in this set. Again, it is available for $69.99 and it is available to April 20th. So you do have a little bit of time to pick up this Topps Now set. Your parallels that you're going to be potentially looking for are your golds out of 50, 25s are your orange, your blacks out of 10s, your reds out of 5s, and of course you have your foil fractors. Now, if you're looking to see who's in this set, Moon, well, here you go. So this is your full base set here. You got American Cody Rhodes, you got Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, Liv Morgan, Stephanie McCurr, Rhea Ripley, Jay Cargill, AJ Lee, and Becky Lynch. So obviously you can tell these are from talents that are both involved in night 1 and night 2. If you're looking for your legend short prints, those are going to be John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Trish Stratus, Bret the Hitman Hart, Tori Wilson, which I don't know where the hell that came from, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker. Again, your base autographs here are all the same 14 that we just talked about, and your legend autographs here are the same 7 that we just covered here. Again, Tori Wilson, unless I've been living under a fucking rock, what WrestleMania moment does she have that I just don't know about? I don't fucking know.
Well, she had the I think it was her. They had the yeah, it was her. It was her and Sable. They had the Playboy Pillow fight, the tag team match.
Man, Topps is a bunch of freaks.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure she has more WrestleMania moments, but I mean, I was probably like a teenage boy at that time. So I mean,
Topps are a bunch of freaks. Topps basically says probably the same as you. Probably the same age as you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I saw the name. I was like, man, imagine you open up your $70 box here, your $70 black Topps envelope, and your fucking autographs of the Tori Wilson. No, there's a Tori Wilson.
Yeah, I'm sure Tori Wilson sells pretty good.
Yeah, I'm about to say maybe it does sell. I don't know Tori Wilson's market here. So shout out Tori Wilson there.
Shout him out.
But yeah, shout him out. But yeah, this one here again, I think the hit alone kind of gives you a very exciting chase, because I mean, again, you pull an autograph of Obafemi, an autograph of Cody Rhodes, hell, with CM Punk. I know we saw some previews of the on card auto of CM Punk. The design standpoint looks freaking sick. Setting for Kerr, again, these will be very limited, because again, these are only available from the 1320. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people buying these boxes or going to be buying these Topps Now here. But I think that the interesting here point is the guaranteed hit. So is that enough for you, Bro Pio? It's a one guaranteed hit for $70. Is that enough for you to get you up and like, you know what, this might be something I'm buying?
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting. I am honestly thinking about picking this up. Considering that I do have a couple here to decide, which I think it'd be Monday, the day after WrestleMania, up until you have time till. I mean, even at the bare minimum, like your one hit, if you get the serial numbered, right? Your
50.
That'd probably be like would that be like your like least favorable hit? in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
because I mean, considering that your 50s, 25s, your orange, your blacks, your tans,
Yeah.
your fives are your red, then of course you have your foil fractors. So yeah, out of
I mean,
50, you would consider these like your worst hit.
I don't know, unless you consider the Legends short print SP. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the run's gonna be on those, but they are considered short prints. So I would assume
Yeah.
the it's not high on that. But I mean, yeah, I mean a 50 number to 50 of somebody that's performing at WrestleMania. And the cards look pretty cool. Like it tells you like Cody's says like it's his 11th WrestleMania appearance.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquera obviously says it's her first. Liv Morgan says it's her eighth. So yeah, I think they're pretty cool cards. Came out of nowhere. I know they just dropped this on us earlier today, Monday afternoon. So it came out of nowhere. Shout out to Randy Orton, came out of nowhere. But yeah, I like it. I'm intrigued by it. I'm honestly thinking about picking it up, and I think this is a good way for people who can't go to WrestleMania and can't get their hands on that, logo fractor. This is a good way for you to like still be, part of like something trading card for WrestleMania. Watching it. So, I like it. I'm down for it. So I am thinking about it. If I can resist getting into more breaks or weekends. I just did one today and totally got skunked on. So I'm just like, yeah, if I could stay away from this stuff and put it towards that, I think we might have ourselves a deal here. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, and you bring up a very interesting point here, guys. Like, as you're listening to this episode on Wednesday, there's probably even potentially even more cards that may be announced here. Because last year, Topps had the WrestleMania posters where they released a card for every match for the posters. So if that's something that you're looking forward to, that's another thing to keep an eye out for. Obviously, after WrestleMania concludes, they're going to have their own dedicated Topps now for those moments. So when we see CM Punk beating Roman Reigns, when we see hopefully we don't see it here, Randy Orton becoming a 15-time champion. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Randy Orton foil on-card autograph with the 15th champ inscription. So keep an eye out for those. Other things are probably going to be coming after WrestleMania. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming our way this week here, which again, that's why I say this is one of Topps' most busiest weeks when it comes to the wrestling card hobby, because this is one of, again, wrestling's most exciting period. So again, just keep an eye out there for that. I'm pretty sure minus from the logo fractor, there's also been the standard like base card. You kind of see some behind me for watching on YouTube. I have the CM Punk dice ones. From what I've heard, those will be given out for free. So I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing singles of that being hit on eBay. I'll try to stack as much as possible. Maybe I do a giveaway. Obviously, I'll try to get some to you and our other brother here. So yeah, I'm gonna try to grab as much as possible. I have a good friend of mine, the vendor that we go to. He said like he went last year, or like he heard people went last year, and just like we're going in and out and just getting packed. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully you're not hearing this, Top. So hopefully you're not hearing this. Just help a guy out with some packs, man. I'm just trying to make some good content for you guys. I'm just trying to do some good guides, some good content for the people out there. Which again, highly advocating, guys. I'm going to be recording like a galore out there. So just make sure you are following if you want to keep up as far as like what's happening in April time at World with Topps and just overall general in wrestling. But you brought up something there, bro. You brought up breaks. Because obviously, again, this past weekend was Topps Chrome release. We had FDI on Wednesday. Then we had the official release of breakers and hobby boxes and mega boxes on Friday. Early impressions of the set. What do you think about it? How did your breaks go? I know you kind of briefly talked about it. You got skunked a little bit today, but you've been doing pretty good from what I've been seeing here on your breaks. I know obviously we join our breaks together. It's fun to watch them together. We don't watch them together. We watch them, simultaneously. And then we take it like, oh my God, the fucking sick ass hit, which is it's very cool for us to do. But the cases that we've been seeing, the helixes, let's go, the GPKs, the autos that you've been seeing, the FDIs. I know we kind of, like when this set got announced, the FDI, I know we kind of shot on it a little bit, but man, those cards look absolutely freaking phenomenal. They killed it with those sets, with the FDI specifically. But yeah, Bropio, any thoughts there on Topps Chrome? What's been your best hit? How are you feeling about the set? Is this something you're excited about moving forward? Overall, how are you feeling about 2026 Topps Chrome WWE?
Yeah, I mean, I think right off the back, like just quality wise of the cards, I think the design's like a whole lot better compared to last year. They do like a little bit more. They look a little bit more sleeker. They look cleaner.
Agree.
So I do like the design. The cards feel good, stuff like that. Break wise, I did dabble into some regular like chrome case breaks. And I did surprisingly, I did get into some FDI breaks. Shout out to bomb breaks who were I did the majority of the FDI breaks.
Shout out Dave. Shout him out.
Shout him out. Which was actually I did okay. Well, the second one I did, the second the first FDI break I did. I did pretty good. Probably should have just walked away. I need to learn how to walk away from this when I get my hits. But I was able to secure a first on print out of 12 FDI of Curia. I did score that, and I think I did score like the negative and I think a refractor auto. So I did pretty good there.
Those negatives have been going, man. They've been selling for some like good, like chunk of change.
Yeah, and they're a lot better than last year's negative too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did pull the 1 out of 12 FDI base of Lyra. So I was pretty stoked about that. I was like, damn it. I was like, in a sense, like obviously this is considered the first off line, right?
First off the line.
Yeah, kind of thing. In my head, like, man, it's kind of in a weird way, like kind of like a 101 because it's 1 of the 12 and it's FDI parallel. So I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm excited to get that in. Probably be here within the next couple of days. Well, after this releases, I probably should have it. So there should be probably a picture of it on my Instagram. So if you want to go check it out. But other than that, I mean, like most of the other breaks have not been so hot. Didn't really pull nothing. I pulled like a lot of I've been like Bailey. I bought Bailey, Lyra. I think I bought what else did I buy? I think somebody have like DIY for cheap. So I was like, let me just get on some DIY stuff. I think I did a cheap one of them one time. Yeah, some of the breaks were a little bit more out of my budget in a sense because a lot of the people were running like a case of Chrome and then a case of Delights. So I don't know, maybe Delights kind of like jacked up the price for it. So some of the spots were a little bit too high for me to get into. But I did do a lot of the single case breaks. I did do one Delight case break, which I was scared as hell to do because I never really do this kind of breaks just because there's not really much out there. Because if you want to, like, I didn't do no exalted breaks just because there was not much to. I didn't feel like there was a good chance of hitting and stuff like that. But I bought in a slot, and I think I probably pulled the refractor or something, nothing crazy. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have your hits and misses, probably misses, when it comes to breaking. But I think I'm good now. As long as I can stay away. Like I know WrestleMania, there's probably a lot of people probably like live breaking, watching WrestleMania, doing breaks and stuff like that. So lucky for you, you're gonna be occupied and don't have to worry about that. But I mean, I've enjoyed it. There's a personal rip 2 mega bosses. I like them. X fractors look good. I just pull a Charlie Dempsey auto. I don't know, so you can talk about your mega box hit here in a little bit. But I think that was one of the surprising things is like how hard those were hit. Like out of all the case breaks that I've seen and where I've been a part of, like the cases were not pulled at all. So like I was like, man, these must be like super. And obviously some of them are starting to surface now on eBay and stuff like that. I think the John Cena one just sold a couple of days ago. I think for like $870. So I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that might be the first one to sell. So kind of setting the market around there. Obviously, I'm saying it's one of the best names of that. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I know I have a couple blasters coming in here. They should be here after WrestleMania, which I thought was weird for them not to be out like during WrestleMania. But yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it. Obviously, we'll probably talk about here in a little bit, but we have the MVP buyback coming up, so we got to get those base cards ready. I know last year they announced this so early that we really didn't even have like what it was going to be, and I think we kind of like gander was like, hey, it might be the Royal Rumble winners and stuff like that. So I mean, obviously this year there's a lot less time to prepare. I know this year I was going to get like some like cheap Jey Uso base cards for like $1, and obviously Jey Uso was the MVP buyback credit. That's not happening this year. People have like Steph Liv. They're like about $15 or $10-15 for just a base card for a potential buyback credit. Obviously, we got winners. You might be like, you'll see those prices. I even see people like charge this $20. I'm like, you're not going to get $20 out of your card shop and trade it in for credit. I think Roman, like I saw a couple of X fractors on eBay. People are like charging like $40. I'm like, yeah, I got
like 40, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to take a gamble on that, if you hear our predictions and you feel strongly with us or you strongly disagree, Go there, buy those base cards. You get $20 credit, and obviously you get more if it's parallel, X fractor, refractor, and so and such. Which I think is probably on the website or stuff like that, so you can go find it. But oh no, I've been enjoying the rips. I like it a lot. Can't wait to rip some more. Probably more on the site, some blasters. Like I said, I have a couple coming in, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like it.
Yeah, no, I said last week episode, when Topps announced the set, we were kind of talking about how we didn't think this was going to come out in time. So the fact that they were able to configure this box here, configure the set, and then get this going was phenomenal. So again, I know as much as we like to talk about Topps flaws, it's important to talk about where they do bring good to the hobby, and this has been a phenomenal set in my opinion. I know it was also announced like we got royalty coming out in May. May 1st, that's the release date as well. But that's going to be a very expensive set. Dynasty was also announced during that Topps conference. But yeah, Topps Chrome, man, they just absolutely killed it. The case hits have been phenomenal when it comes to, they look a lot better. The helixes, the let's go,
Yeah.
those just look absolutely way better than last year. The parallels look great. We have a couple of them here. The X Factor, like you mentioned, they look great. I know there has been some boxes from what I've seen have had some bad quality control. I personally was lucky enough, my box the one box or two boxes that I've opened didn't have any bad quality control. But so the boxes that I've had have been fairly well. I've had no complaints about them. Like you mentioned, they're good quality card stock. They feel much better, sturdier than last year. So yeah, overall, again, has just been a very, very well executed set. The autographs look great. I know the Mark of Champions, that's been one of my favorite autographs I've seen in online. Very harder to hit now. I believe looking here at the odd sheet here, the Mark of Champions here. I think these were like one out of like something. Where were these? The main event autographs, 1 out of 63 packs for Breaker Delight boxes. The hobby boxes are 1 out of 1,011 packs. So that's crazy. The Future Stars, Breaker Delight, 1 out of 20 hobbies, 1 out of 245 packs. The 1986 cards, those look freaking sick. 1986 is one of my favorite baseball card designs. So I obviously wasn't alive to rip those, but just seeing of like other past top sets, like that's a very cool insert. So the fact that those have hit 2026 Topps Chrome WWE, those are cool. The anniversary cards are awesome. The Stone Cold, the Diamond, the Rock Diamond Legacy, the Platinum Punks, those are sweet. I've yet to see a CM Punk 20th anniversary autograph, which makes sense because those are for Chrome Breaker Delight boxes. Those are 1 out of 2,688 packs. Hobby boxes are 1 out of 34,416 packs. So that's freaking insane. To say his name insert, haven't seen those. Those are also insane. Also the Beast Incarnate. Those are also hard to hit as well. But yeah, but overall, from start to finish, just an overall great looking set. Break wise for me has been okay. FDI struck out, and then obviously the second set that they did of second break they did FDI, they hit a freaking Ren Sinclair. Was just my freaking luck. That's what I've been buying, particularly in my breaks here. Did buy an Obafemi, and one absolutely got freaking skunked. That was fucking terrible. That was like a bad break. Paying $35 for a base card, where absolutely freaking insane. No color as there. Obviously, it's not the breaker's fault; they can't control that. But yeah, that's absolutely freaking insane. Have some nice Ren color coming in. I believe I have a 250. I have the green women's division. Nice to see red women's division. That's free on the insert. So it gives me a fun little chase here. I have some overall gear. So I'm gonna hopefully try to make it a mission to maybe try to collect the rainbow. It's gonna be a very expensive rainbow and a very lengthy some rainbow because there's the logo fractors now, there's the breakers. So don't know exactly how that's gonna play out. Maybe I'll stick to one set and be like, okay, I'm gonna complete that rainbow. But yeah, have yet to hit an auto of Ren Sinclair. So I am looking out for that. So if you guys have pulled any Ren Sinclair autos, you guys have been cool and very awesome. You guys have tagged me in some Ren Sinclair posts. So thank you for all of that. If you guys are doing that, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, obviously here, if you guys, bro, people mentioned it here, and of course you follow me on my socials, my biggest hit from my makeup box was my Jay Yeesh Uso GPK. You might not know if it was mine because it got cropped out in a photo, but here is my Jay Uso for everybody if you want to take a look at it. There is my ring light there. It's a little bit fading there. You can go on my Instagram there. It is there. So yeah, this was absolutely freaking insane. Pulled it out of a mega box. If I know some people are asking me what was the configuration as far as of that for the GP case here, I believe it was 1 out of 530 mega packs, which is absolutely freaking insane. And it was my second to last pack. If you guys saw my video, it was my second to last pack here. People were probably gonna say, "Oh, Top sent me that box." Top did not send me that box. I speak it into existence because I'm opening the pack. I'm like, all right, guys, like the box has been okay. There's auto potential, there's GPK potential. You can pull GPKs out of Mega Box, and sure enough, right after a Naomi card, which is pretty poetic, there was my Jey Uso GPK. It is for sale, so if you guys are listening to this and are interested in the card, I do have it again here as a closer up here for the YouTube folks here. It is up on my eBay. Obviously, I'm asking a lot for it. Obviously, I don't expect to get that number. But if you guys are interested in Yeet, she's like he's blowing a fart here with the Yeet little thing there. So that is yeah, he's yeeting and farting, which I can relate to that. So yeah, overall, freaking sick card. It's I love the GPKs. Like we love, obviously we come from the baseball side, or we talked about the baseball side before. They're one of our favorite cards that we talked about in previous sets. So the fact that they hit the WWE line are freaking sick. You are correct. The Jey Uso, the John Cena one is one of our first recorded sales that we saw as far as of the base refractors, because there are base refractors and there are potential parallels. So a John Cena out of 5 before we started recording just sold here for $2,500 on eBay. So they are listed on there. There's been some high listings here, which again, for good reason. Again, these are very, very hard to hit. Like just looking through some quick little eBay listings here. A Roman Reigns is going for 1,428, which that doesn't make any sense for that price. Is 2,130 or 2,100. I don't know about that. Bailey is 700. EO is 999. Alexa Bliss is 1,500. Bailey 899. Cody Bomb out of 10 is at 3,000. Let's say Bailey might be the more common one. I've seen 3 Baileys now. 879. Reptilian Randy is at 295 with bids. Potty Mouth Punk has been pulled. I've seen that here. That's for 2K. There's a Rock out of 10 first on print for 10,000. Again, these are just asking prices. There's a Becky Lynch for 650. Drew for 995. So yeah, these cards again are going to be very, very pricey. So there's some ending in bids in about 20-ish, 22 hours from now. So it's going to be interesting to see those, because I think those are definitely going to set the market and definitely give me a better idea of what these cards could be worth. Because there's, again, it's hard to put a value on this, because again, these have never been in top products. There's a 2019 dedicated top set of this, but it wasn't a short print like this, and it wasn't Topps Chrome. Which again, guys, if you guys are not, if you guys are listening to the podcast for the first time or getting into cards, Topps Chrome is like the Mag Daddy of them all. It is the A1 set when it comes to trading cards for all licenses. So yeah, it is pretty cool that again these have came here. Yeah, I have a couple of more breakers spots here. As far as a Ren Sinclair, that's been my only buy so far. CM Punk spots has been freaking crazy. I can't even afford that. So Ren, surprisingly, has been separate too. I like that. Usually I have to buy the all freaking W spot. I have to pay like freaking $40 for that. So the fact that she's getting some respect here in a separate spot for like $20-15, I can definitely dig that. So shout out to the breakers who did that. But yeah, no, it's been fun. I'm like you mentioned, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a breakers galore on Fanatics Live and on whatnot this weekend. So yeah, guys, I would just recommend be smart, know what you're looking at, don't FOMO to anything. There's a lot of stuff coming out right now, so it could definitely be very overwhelming. So be smart, know what you're looking for, have a plan. I know it's very cliche. People say, "Oh, try to have a plan." This is a time where you kind of want to have one and kind of stay true to that plan. And know it's you can deviate here and there. But as long as you stay true to your plan and know what you're doing, know what you're looking for, know what you're buying, you can definitely stay true to that and enjoy this hobby. Because again, I know it can be very overwhelming. The price points can be very overwhelming. So yeah, guys, I would just recommend be smart, know what you're doing, and have fun with it, man. It's cardboard. It's not meant to be taken so serious, things like that. It's wrestlers on a piece of the cardboard. So it's meant to be fun, enjoyable, collectible. And I hope you guys got that from my video. I think our good friends over at Cards and Culture mentioned that, like how like my excitement that I had for it, because yeah, this guy is fun for me, guys. Like it's just fun for me. I love collecting this stuff. Yes, is there money inside it? Yes. Do I sell cards on side? Yes, but I have a true passion for this, you as well, which is why we do this podcast and why we do the things that we do. So yeah, it's just very fun.
It's
so have
not
fun with
always
it.
about the money,
Spider-Man. So is that
It's
always
about
about the
mix.
mix? So yeah, guys, as much as there's a money involvement tied to it, it's piece of the cardboard, and we just have love having fun and talking about this stuff. And if any sort of knowledge that we could bring to you guys, I'm glad to be a part of it. Which again, you guys have been very supportive on all the content this past week here. You guys have been reaching out to me, asking me questions, and showing how much I've helped you guys out. So I really do appreciate it. And you guys have even reached out to me about being in Vegas. So again, I will be in Vegas on Thursday through Saturday night. So you guys are in the area. I'll be happy to, collab on some things if you guys want to, but that'll be part of my final thought here. But before I officially wrap everything up here, I know it's kind of a long rant towards the end, but Bro Pio, any final thoughts here for the good old listeners of collecting the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, no, I don't really got too much. Just I know I've gained a little bit of a, I don't know, out of nowhere. Like I got like a good follower traction on my Instagram, so a lot more people have been
Yeah,
reaching out to
I
me
noticed
and
that. I noticed that. You've been getting a
talking
good little
talking
traction.
some talking some wrestling and stuff like that. So it's been cool to kind of get out there and talk with the wrestling card community and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean my DMs are always open, whether it be Instagram, Twitter. I like to yap a lot. So yeah, come on out.
Always, yeah.
Let's yap. That's if you're not sick of hearing me yap on this damn thing. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, it is WrestleMania weekend. So if you're out there or if you're traveling out there, safe travels to everybody that's gonna be out there. Have fun. Um, enjoy it. Regardless of how the build went, like WrestleMania again, it's its own spectacular, it's its own event. Um, we always talk about, we can't wait to WrestleMania season, and here we are. We're the week of. Safe travels to everybody who's going out there to Las Vegas. Be safe, have fun. And yeah, next time we'll be talking. We'll be dissecting the WrestleMania card, and and I think probably maybe depending on our schedule, we'll see how that Monday after Raw is Mania. The Monday after the Raw after Mania. That's usually one of the bigger shows in wrestling. So that's typically where we get. Well, back in the day, we used to get a lot of NXT debuts and stuff like that, roster shakeups. So hopefully they do go back to that in a way. They don't. We'll see what happens. But yeah,
New era.
on that, a new era begins for the 7th time.
But yeah, guys, again, like I've talked about here, final thoughts here from me on my end. Again, if you guys have not been listening to me yet for an hour and 40-ish minutes here, again, I will be at WrestleMania. I will be in Vegas, touching down in Vegas on Thursday. I will be at World on Friday, and then I have WrestleMania Night 2. So you guys are in the area. I know I had some people reach out to me, leave some comments, saying to meet up, things like that. I'll be happy to meet you guys. If you guys see me in person, feel free to come say hi. I will be with my wife, but don't let that shy away. I'll be a little bit busy on Friday. I have a couple of photo ops, but nothing too crazy. So again, if you guys do see me in the area, I know I had some people again shoot me a message or leave some comments like this, bro. But to pack together, we'll love to do that with you guys. So guys, again, if you see me in the area, don't be a stranger. Come say hi. We'll love to interact with you guys. It's it's always great to interact, through messages and DMs and things like that. But just getting out there, interacting with you guys in person, things like that. It's always going to be fun for me. So yeah, guys, if you guys see me in person, don't be a stranger. Come say hi. I would love to chat wrestling, make videos, whatever. And again, like that, I will be covering as much as I possibly can. This will probably be the most content that I've ever filmed or made for good reason. I did put out a poll on my Instagram what you guys wanted to see. If you guys want to see separate vlogs of each day and or like a long vlog, you guys voted for like separate vlogs. So that's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be like a whole little series. I'll have a vlog for Thursday, vlog for Friday, vlog for Saturday, and potentially Sunday when I come back, but TBD on that. For Monday, an episode will probably be out either Wednesday or Thursday, depending, because I'm going to have a ton of editing to do. So guys, just bear with me as far as of that. I would highly advocate follow me on TikTok, Instagram, because I'll be posting like short form stuff there. So you want like immediate action, that's going to be the best platform to follow me. Also on X as well, again at Moon3PO. So yeah, I'll be doing everything there from there. So yeah, I'm very excited. Again, like we talked about, as much as this builds to this, has been very lopsided. Again, it's my first Mania ever. First time in Vegas. My wife's been there. My wife has a funny, I won't say, it wasn't a funny story for her, but yeah, sorry about that. There's no way she got it this far, but you know what I'm talking about. So, hands up. I owe her a needle for bringing that story up now. Yeah, I've never been to Vegas. So the fact that it's my first time in Vegas, it's WrestleMania weekend. is going to be absolute freaking galore there. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. Hopefully I get to meet a lot of you guys there. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. It's Las Vegas. It's WrestleMania. It's going to be a damn good time. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Hopefully you guys listened to the whole thing. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube. If you're following on Spotify and or Apple, make sure you do follow and leave a rating and leave a comment, because that does help support the podcast and lets me know that you're enjoying it. Because if we're enjoying it, that means we're doing something good. And if we're not enjoying it, let us know what we're doing wrong. And we definitely do something better to bring more enjoyment to the podcast. But I think we've been doing a pretty good job. I think others will say so as well. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for us. We will see y'all next week post WrestleMania. I'll have a full breakdown of my weekend. And yeah, guys, it's an exciting time. It's WrestleMania. It's here. Let's enjoy it. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it. And we will see y'all in the next one.